If I challenged you to shoot a video every single day, would you follow through? Think about that question. If I challenge you to build your brand, the only thing I know that actually creates a moat in a residential real estate agent's business that becomes unpenetrable, would you actually take action on it? Well, this guy did. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Tim, give the listener a little context, whether they're watching or listening. How long have you been in the business? Where do you sell houses? Give us a context for what your business looks like before we talk about all this Instagram stuff you've been doing.
Yep. So I've been in the business for 20 years. 2004 was when I got into it.
Yeah.
It was kind of a necessity for me to I wanted to get my family to the Des Moines, Iowa metro.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was living in a small town. It just wasn't where I wanted to raise my kids. So I'm
Sure.
like, hey, I jumped all in. I think I was like 27 or something like that, but 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
So Des Moines, Iowa, love the area. It's a really actively growing community as well. So that's really good.
Doesn't it also have a booming kind of tech vibe now? Like
It's starting to.
Yes.
I mean, we're starting to get more and more. I mean, Microsoft has a big place there. Sure. Facebook has a massive community that they've been building there. So yeah, it's starting to really grow.
Right on. So 20 years ago, you get into business. How many homes will you sell this year? And then let's get into all this Insta stuff.
Yeah. So like going back to how many homes I sell, I've got this thing that I do on a weekly basis. Yeah. And I've been doing it all of 22, 23, 24, and now 25, where I want to sell 100 homes in a year and I track it. Yeah. 3 years ago, I sold 92. Last year, I sold, I think, 69. Yeah. And then another 69. 2 years in a row. The down years were 69. Sure. And then this year I'm I think at 23 so far this year. It's been pretty slow. Yeah. It's been pretty slow.
Yeah. So you say that with kind of a solemn look on your face, and yet you're at 23 transactions for the year when a lot of people would love to be in that position. You've done, but I get it. Yeah. I get it. Nobody likes to go backwards. Yep. So I challenged you. Why don't you unpack the challenge so people get context, and then let's talk about this whole sort of incredible experience you've had.
Yeah. So the challenge on that video a day. Mm-hmm. So the video a day came up, and I think you had either a podcast or someone on stage back. It was like October of 22. Yes. And I was like, man, I can do that. And I just started thinking more about it. And then there's a guy named Todd Collins. He's a social media marketing guy out in Maryland. Somehow we got on the TikTok thing, and I started watching him, and he was doing a live an hour every day that year. And I'm like, if he can do a live every day, I sure as hell can do a video every day. Yes. And so I started that January 1st of 2023. Okay. And I have not missed a single day. It's 870 days in a row.
Congratulations. Now, you seem like a pretty disciplined guy. So is adding a new routine like that something easy for you?
I like to challenge myself. Mm-hmm. I mean, everything I do in my life are challenges. And I know if I can stick to that challenge, then I'm going to be successful. Yes. So like I just mentioned, where I have that 100 house goal every Friday since January 1st of 2022, I do a video that says, here's how many houses I sold. Here's how many I didn't sell. The wins and losses. Uh-huh. And that's
how are you tracking the losses?
Well, the loss is if I don't have a closing that week.
Got it. Okay. And then, so it's it's not like I had a listing that expired or a deal fell apart. Got it.
So each update that I do, I also try and mix in a story, right? Yeah. So it's like, hey, this week I sold 0 houses, but hey, and then like I said, it's been a tough week. Yeah. There's been some losses, had a couple listings expire, but we're going to continue pushing and pushing. And next week, make sure you come back and see if we get one done next week.
So I got that. So let's go back to that first day, January 1st. Let's assume the person listening right now is like, okay, I get it. Now, by the way, is there a correlation to shooting content and doing less transactions? Because someone's going to say, the guy's got a goal of 100. He went as high as 92, but he did 92 in what I refer to as the champagne and cocaine of real estate, right? Yep. Like when money was next to nothing, everybody was moving for no apparent reason. We did 6.9 million individual unit transactions. And then, slowly 23 less, 23 less, 24 less. This year looks like we are at the bottom and now we're starting to come out of it. But again, that's market by market, right? Right. Every market is different, right? So I actually celebrate the fact that you continue to sell so many darn houses, but I don't want the listener to be like, he started doing all this content and he sold less homes. That's not how it works.
There's not a correlation there at all. Yeah. I feel like right now, if you look at my board of the people that I'm harvesting, right, that I've got, it's bigger than it's ever been. Yes. Like I'm telling you, like I probably have 30 or 40 people that are in the works that have been in the works for a year.
Right. We've DM'd about this.
And so there's going to be a time when they all hit. And so like part of me is like stressed and worried and nervous because I am down.
Sure.
Like I am down.
Sure.
I've got 2 full-time employees, and I care about their families. Like I care about my family. So I need to keep producing to provide.
Yes.
And I get worried.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, I know that my hard work and the things that I'm doing, it's going to pop off and things are going to change. It'll be just fine.
You're so lucky to be doing this today, even though, again, we're on a flat to declining market on transactions, right? Across the country, US, Canada, most of Europe. Europe seems to be picking up pretty aggressively right now. But at the end of the day, you decided to do something radically different. So you go back to that day, January 1st. I've got so many questions I want to unpack, but let's start with when you first said, I'm going to do this. Did you have like some inspiration around what content you would put out? So what were you thinking in the early days? If I went back, 880 days ago, what am I going to see in that content?
I've been doing videos for since 2012. I mean, I did my first videos were the slideshows. Yeah. And I always used Blake Shelton's Home, the song Home. And I'm like, oh, this is really good. I look at it now, it's totally stupid.
Oh yeah.
So I've never really stuck to one thing. And I've had times throughout the period where I'm like, okay, we're going to have, Throwback Thursday, the common things. And I just never got comfortable with that. Yeah. And I feel like when I'm talking to clients and when I'm experiencing my day, I'm always aware of that. Right. And so content just pops up. Yeah. Like I'll have a conversation with my videographer. I'll have a conversation with a client and it's like, that's a good topic. Yeah. I get done with the conversation. I immediately record it. So as far as a plan, this is the type of stuff I'm going to do. Yeah. I never had a plan like that. Yeah. My content is all over the board. Yeah.
So there's something to going with the flow. And I appreciate that because I do a lot of that as well. And there is the sort of thematic, hey, once a month, I'm going to give you a market update or once a month, we're going to talk about home prices or whatever it may be. Yep. So it sounds like you kind of do that and way more because looking at your channel, it could be, hey, what the number one question that I get from first-time home buyers, right? Is 427,000 views on it, right? And then the next one might have 5 or 8,000. So when you first got started, in the early days, did you ever feel like quitting?
I don't. I'm not a quitter. That's not really in my blood. Yeah. But were there some hard times? 100%.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So there was one time I'm pretty sure I probably had COVID, right? Yeah. And it was funny because that day I challenged myself, or that month I challenged myself, I'm going to do 100 push-ups and I'm going to do run a mile a day. Yeah. I had this challenge to myself and I was dying at 103 temperature. And I went and ran my mile and I did my push-ups and I laid in bed and I felt like death. And all I posted that day was, I don't know about you, but I feel like crap. Yeah. But it was a video. And I got for weeks after, or days after that, people were like, hey, you feeling better? Hope you're feeling better. Exactly. It's so it doesn't really matter. I have daughters that play club volleyball. Yeah. And there's days where you're like, oh, I don't know if you've ever been in that world, but those tournaments are exhausting and you're in these buildings with no Wi-Fi. You can't do anything. So I posted a video of my daughter playing volleyball on my real estate page. Sure. So I think the more videos that you do, the more authentic they are, the more clients get to know you. That way, when they call you to work with you, they already know who they're calling.
So if you were to advise somebody, do you think this is a pure brand play or is it I want to transfer my insight, my IP? I think about one of my friends, one of my closest friends on the planet, a guy named Kurt Kessel. He and his partner, Dwayne, number 1 or number 2 team for Compass in the entire state of Florida. And I think nationally, they're probably top 4 or 5. I challenged them, my goodness, probably in 2015, 2016. Fellas, between the two of you, you've been selling real estate for 60 years. Why don't you do 60 lessons in 60 years? And so that was a long time ago, almost a decade ago. And they're still trading on, oh my God, I've watched all those videos. You gave us all the insights. You gave us all the lessons. So is it just get to know me and what I'm all about? So when you show up in the appointment, they're like, I know you like you and trust you already because I've watched everything. Or is there an element of, I also want to educate people and I want people to be informed? There's got to be some method to all this madness.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. So when you have to do a video every single day, the content is tough to continue to come up with while you're still trying to work and you're still trying to sell homes. Yeah. The numbers that we talk about are mine. They're not my team numbers. They're just 100% mine. Correct. I want my team to have their own success. Yes. So I don't take theirs. Right. Yes. Smart. But it is hard to come up with content, but I always, the ones that do better are the more personal ones.
Interesting.
The educational ones typically will fall more flat.
Well, yeah. I mean, hey, here's 3 things you need to know if you're buying a house. Well, that's good for, call it, I don't even know, 3 out of 100 people, right? That might be in the market, if you get 4 or 5.
You get 3 likes on 100 views.
Yeah.
The algorithm isn't picking it up.
100%.
So that's like the hardest thing for me is I want to do a lot more real estate content.
Yeah.
I want to do a lot more education.
Yeah.
But I also know that I need to get followers. I need to get engagement and all of that. And, part of me for a long time struggled. Like, why do I need so many followers?
Yeah. Do you? You have a lot, 24,000, I thought.
On Instagram.
It's a big number.
Yep. And then on TikTok, I've got like 50,000.
Yeah.
And TikTok's been a lot more fun. But getting the followers, I came to the conclusion, like I got 3 reasons why I want to grow my following. First is it's my job to get as many eyeballs as possible on my listings.
Yes.
So if I have this meme over here that I posted that has nothing to do with real estate, but it gets me followers and it gets me attention, right? My listings will get more eyeballs and you just never know.
Right.
The other one is it might get me a referral. So like if my followers are all over the country, it might get me a referral in some way, right? Yeah. And I play that card. Like I say, no matter where you are in the country, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, give me a call.
Yeah.
I can help you.
Yeah.
And I talk about how I interview agents and how I can make sure I can take that pain in the butt off your shoulders and get you the right agent that's going to take care of you.
Yeah.
And the last one is like the more followers I have, when someone locally sees my stuff, are they more likely to follow me because I have a bunch of follows?
100%.
Yeah. So like they follow the crowd
Yep.
and then that might turn into a client lead at some point.
So you look at it from a very analytical perspective, which I do appreciate because I do the same. Do you go deep and look at your content and ask yourself, like, why did that perform? Why did that get shared? What metrics are you paying attention to?
So analytical I am, but not. I'm not real good with like studying the details and pulling up the analytics. And like, I hear people on your podcast that go through all that stuff. And I'm just like, man, am I just dumb or something? Because I can't do that.
This is one of those dumb as a fox guys.
I don't understand that stuff. Yeah. But what I do is I test a lot.
Yes.
And like, for example, I work with Todd and we talk on a weekly basis. He's like, man, try some memes, make some memes.
Yeah.
So I made a meme and it was like this skater. This gal walks out of a building skating and she slips and falls and she grabs the pole. And I put on up above it, I said,
I saw it.
How's your 23? It has 100 million views.
Yeah, I saw
100 million views.
Yes.
And it wasn't real estate related, but it was relatable, right?
Yes.
Especially in the real estate world, because that was when, so October was when those rates jumped.
For sure.
And then that thing hit her in the head and she's like, shit.
Yeah. So looking to buy a house in 2023, bonk.
Yep.
Yeah.
So everything just kind of like, I test everything.
Yeah.
And some things will hit. So like you have like the speed tour guy, right? Like that stuff will hit and it's like, it's fantastic. I love it. But for how long?
Right.
And you always have to have those tests out there. So like if something catches, I might do it 3 or 4 times, but I'll have stuff in between them because I know that that's probably going to dry up and then we just got to keep going.
Sure. So there's so many different approaches to creating content. Do you think about hooks? Do you think about calls to action? Do you think about stories? Do you think about no more than 3 things? Like what have you found to be effective when you're putting out a piece of content?
So you have to listen. So like if you go on a listing appointment, the number one thing you could do is listen to your clients because then you know where to go from there.
Yeah.
If they're ready to just sign the papers, then I heard you saying the other day, I don't want to hear all this crap. Then you close the deal, right? It's the same when you're taking in content.
Yes.
You got to pay attention to what you're doing. So you're watching the content and you might say, why did I watch this full video? Was it the hook? Was it the content? Was it the way they held the camera?
Yeah.
Because all of it matters.
Yes.
And so I just pay attention to what I pay attention to. And it's turned into like when I first was on TikTok, my wife was like, you're on that all the time. And I'm like, I'm not on it for any other reason other to better my videos and better my content. Sure. And so that's what I do. I listen and hooks are very big. I realize very quickly if someone says, hi, I just jumped on here to swipe.
Yeah.
Like I'd never say, hi, I just jumped on here. I just,
hey,
I just wanted to, my name is this, my name is like, I never even say my name in my videos. Cause if they want to know my name, it's right there in my bio.
Bingo.
So like I do a quick hook.
What's your source of inspiration for hooks, ideas? Like, do you follow other people? Do you look at other content? Do you read other, do you go to other websites? Like, what do you use to sort of find inspiration? Because you're 880 in. I know when I was like, I don't know, 1,200 YouTube videos, long form content in, I'm like, oh my God, like how many more times can I talk about open houses?
Oh man.
Right. So, you need to find other sources of inspiration. Where do you go?
I just, like I say, I'll even do my entire video and then pull the hook from the video.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, this is boring. I got to let's pull this section out. And even though they'll hear it again in the thing, but at least that is the catch, right? So like, you just got to analyze what you got and try and figure out what is it that would catch your attention to make you watch it.
Yes.
But I'm in a mastermind. I think masterminds are super important.
For sure.
Just being able to, like, I'm in a mastermind with non-real estate agents. There might be one other agent that pops in once in a while, but I mean, I've got someone from a Broadway, he's a DJ, and they're all across the country, and it's like
content creators.
Yeah. And
smart.
The main thing is like, you just have to adapt other things that you see into your business or into your content.
Yeah.
And so like, it may be a video about life insurance, right?
Yeah.
But then you're like, oh wait, I can pull that and do that.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're watching other content creators. You're kind of grabbing inspiration from them, reimagining it yourself. Knowing what you know now, though, if you look back over the 880 some odd videos you shot, would you have done anything differently?
Oh man, there's so many videos.
I know, but I mean,
sometimes
we're all going to have unicorns every now and then, and we're all going to have a lot more donkeys, right? Like that just don't produce well. But like, I'm always looking back and going, okay, why did that perform well? Like anytime I put my wife in the photos, it just does better, right?
Yeah.
Carousels are hot right now. They used to not be hot, right? Green screens, super hot anytime. But like, I'm just personally not all that obsessed with the news. Do you know what I mean? And that's what gets people fired up.
It's funny you said that, because that's the one thing that like, I wish there are times I get fired up by it. Right. And I don't get super political in it, but I mean, if you watch my content, you know where I stand.
Sure.
But I don't like call anything out, and I always try and keep it neutral.
Yeah.
But that is like, so there's two things that I know if I want to make a viral video, if I'm struggling, I need to get the algorithm back. I hit a news story.
Yep.
Or I talk
green screen,
or I talk about construction.
Yep. Construction for sure.
You go into a house. I got a video right now that just went over 1 million views, and it's like, I just went into a house and I talked about like there was a gap between the sheeting, and I'm like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
And it was a 1/2 inch gap, but everybody and their dog wanted to tell me how I was wrong and that's normal and it should be there. And I'm like, no. And like, I got to the point where I'm done replying.
Sure.
And I mean, I said there's a lumber company that has plans on a tube. So a house had 24-inch on center studs, and I'm used to 16 on center. Yeah. And the builder that did that said, well, it's because the lumber company sells you the plans, and they want to sell more lumber. And I said that in the video, that's what they told me. I didn't say that was I said, that's what the builder told me. And of course, I'm the idiot, right? But the lumber company in our market sells the plans, and everybody's telling me lumber companies don't sell. Actually, I was just sitting before this, I got one of those comments. I'm like, Google search this, you'll find out that they actually do in our market.
Yes.
But, so it's just constant, like people who want to tell you you're wrong. Yeah. They inspire you, and you got to be okay to just brush it off your shoulder and just keep moving on.
Okay. So, but let's keep pulling that thread. Knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently?
Nothing. Was
there a time that you didn't answer all the comments?
I answer a lot of them until it gets to, I mean, once you get to that point where it's too much. Yeah. Well,
how much is too much?
Like if you've got 300 comments, it's if I've got stuff going on in my business, I've got 5 kids, I've got a busy business. Like I did it as much as I could. Yeah. Right. Like, I would probably, if there's one thing I would do more of, is do video replies.
Tell me more about that.
So doing the video replies, it does a couple things. It will get the one that's there more traction. Yep. And then that video alone is usually pretty good content, right? So someone might ask a question and they want to know the answer. Well, there's probably other people that want to know those answers too. So bingo. It gives you the opportunity. Like if anybody out there is struggling with content and they don't, go to someone else's video with a lot of questions, screenshot the question, put it up there, answer that question if you know the answer. Yeah. Because it's the easiest content there is.
All right. So give me feedback on this. I've been talking with a lot of our clients, and as much as I travel, doesn't matter where I am, I say, go to answerthepublic.com, type in keywords Des Moines real estate, see how many questions are being asked by people in your market or outside of your market that are curious about. And then you could take every one of those questions, there might be 880 questions, right? Just with some variation, short form, long form search query, essentially across TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Amazon, Google. I mean, like it's a smattering of different places they pull all the content from. Then you could take that and I could put it right into your favorite AI tool and say, write me a 300 to 400 word blog, essentially on this, have it write the blog, and then read it, make sure that it's appropriate. And then I could send that out to my database in an email. I can put it on LinkedIn. I can put it on Facebook. I can put it on, anywhere, my own website, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But then the next step of that is, do I record a video of that? Or do I have HeyGen, my new AI avatar, record a video? Or have you seen the new baby videos that everyone's doing?
I did a home tour in that.
Oh, I think I saw yours. Yes,
yeah,
right.
Baby Timmy.
Right. So now you got the baby doing it. Like there's so many other ways you can take that one piece of content and essentially, like I say that like content is like marketing. It's best in layers. You know what I mean? Like a lasagna. I don't want to, just a noodle and some sauce and whatever, some cheese. You want like the 19-layer lasagna. Well, branding and content is the same. So now that you've got this content strategy going, have you created more layers with it? Like, is every one of the videos also on YouTube Shorts? Is every one of the videos also on TikTok? Is every one of the videos transcribed and converted to a blog? What else have you done with it?
That's funny you asked that. Can I say the name of a company that I use?
Sure.
So there's this company called repurpose.io.
Yes.
And everything that I put on TikTok, it goes into, we all know how these social media apps act differently.
Yeah.
And so like TikTok, I'm a little more risky. I have a little more fun with it. So all my TikToks go on YouTube. They go on YouTube Shorts.
Good. They
go into a Google Drive.
Good.
And if you put like a hashtag, you can separate it into different areas.
Yep.
So I go back to 2022, I believe. Every one of my videos is saved with the captions and the hashtags.
Smart.
Which I know hashtags don't really do as much anymore, but they're there, right? Yeah. So like if I want to search it, I can find it. And I also had to go into Pinterest for quite a while because I'm like, why not? And then I also had them go into LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, so LinkedIn was a funny one for me because I don't use it a whole lot. And it's more like trying to get you a job, you know, like, or people like happy work anniversary.
But hey, I'm moving to Des Moines. Who do I know?
Yep.
Right. And then all of a sudden all your content shows up. That's a good move.
But it had my riskier stuff, right?
Yeah.
So my TikTok stuff was going to LinkedIn. And I was like, I'm just going to try this for a while to see if like there's a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Because, you don't see unprofessional stuff as much on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Okay. For the record, you seem very subdued. So what is your version of risky content?
Like maybe with a little political touch or.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I don't like swear and get crazy or anything like that. But like I'll do just screwing around.
Yeah.
Like my fit, like check out my fit, and just be stupid.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I like to let my true personality show.
TikTok trends. And okay. So I was going to ask you because like I watch you and like you're super relaxed and chill doing this show. But I see some of your content, like, and it's like you're a little more outgoing. Mm-hmm. So is it like which Tim is real?
They both are.
Okay,
they both are. I mean, I'm super relaxed. Like this is comfortable for me.
Yeah.
So we're relaxed as we're just two people having a conversation.
Yeah.
I've been on camera for a long time.
Yeah.
And this comes natural. There's really no preparation. It's just back and forth. But like on camera, if I have a purpose or I have. Like if you put me on stage, I might like have more of a jazzed up attitude because my wife will ask me like, it's not the same person on camera as it is here. And I'm like, it's because the adrenaline hits.
Sure.
Like when the camera flips on to me, even if I feel like crap, it's go. Yep. Like all of a sudden I'm hyped. I do my video and then I might drop back down. Right. So like, I don't know.
So you put on like my buddy Chase Hughes says we all wear masks, right? Like or Todd Herman would say the alter ego, right? As an example. So there's definitely a mask I think to content creation, but I think there's this like I don't know when you become the mask, and then that's just you 24 hours a day. There's some magic in that because I think some people would be let down like if they were like ran into one of us walking down the street. And we were like slouchy, angry, depressed. And they'd be like, what? Like, what? Yeah. Right? Like, all those normal human experiences that, some of us, we got all that stuff out of our system. So looking back over 880, you'd say no changes. But what if I said to you for the next 880, if you were going to really move the needle in your business, what would you do differently? And are you open to having a little discussion about that?
No, I'm open to it for sure. Man, that's a tough one. Yeah, maybe that's something I should think about, because like for me, moving the needle in my business is more about personal contact. Mm-hmm. Like one of the things that I'm just going to start this because I'm trying to figure out, I talk with my coach. He wants me to do expireds, call expireds. Yeah. And I'm like, that's not like, I'm not that guy. Yeah. Like I'm not, I did it when I started in the business of cold calling, but the world's different today.
For sure.
And I'm in the business enough now where I have relationships with all the agents, and I don't want to make anybody mad. And I kind of try and tread lightly to that. But one of the things I'm going to do, and I'll tell everybody, and I'm okay telling people what I'm going to do. Yeah,
good.
But I'm going to pick 4 or 5 a week, luxury listings. Yep. I'm going to go knock on their door and offer up assistance.
Love it. Have you seen the 7-letter campaign that Jimmy Mackin put together inside of Listing Leads?
Yep.
Like, I think that understanding their emotional state, like the survey that was done was, what is the number one emotion that an expired listing is experiencing after their home doesn't sell? And everybody's like, frustration, anger. No, it was actually embarrassment.
Yeah.
Kath and I are moving and suddenly your home didn't sell. And everybody's like, Tim, what happened?
Yeah.
Right? And now you have to rehash the experience of it not selling and the transition didn't work.
We just decided not to move.
Yeah, we decided not to. Yeah. Like, really? Like, I thought you guys said you guys were moving to New York, right? So it's embarrassment. And I like the letter strategy. So if you're going to go to their door, what strategy are you thinking about?
So the strategy would just be like, go to the door, knock on the door.
Yeah.
And if they're not there, have a nice piece of documentation that can show them what we do. Yeah. I'll have QR codes that go to each one of my social sites. Yeah. Maybe a blurb about why that's important.
Yeah.
The one thing that
is it kind of hey, homes don't sell for one of 3 reasons.
Probably
priced incorrectly, didn't get the exposure. Needed to be. Something had to be addressed with the property, so it showed well. Something as simple as that.
And honesty, like that's the one thing that for me, I tell people in the very first meeting, I might tell you things you don't like, but I want to help you, and the only way to help you is to be honest with you.
So I'm gonna give you a challenge. Here's another challenge.
I like it.
And I would say the same thing for my listener here. I did this back in like 2010, 11, 12, where I would say to people, I want you to create one video that sits on your website. And today I would say I want you to create a series of videos that sit on your website that if I was a home seller, it would be the single most important commercial video I would see. If I was a first-time home buyer, if I was moving to Des Moines, if I was moving to Des Moines on this side versus that side versus this side versus that side, like each one of those like hyper-focused video specifically for someone that is in search of luxury, investing, moving to the west side, moving to the east side, right? Selling my home for the first time, a senior selling my home for the first time in 40 years. I would challenge you to create very specific answers to their questions. And I think you're going to find like intermixing that, and you could say, because you go on a lot of listing appointments, I just walked out of a meeting with a client. They're 92 years old, right? They're 87 years old. They're whatever. They're 65 years old. And they're like, Tim, we're not even sure if we should sell. So how do you help somebody make that, you know what I mean? And you talk through the process of maybe telling them they shouldn't sell, right? Like I think there's content that is so important for those of us that are looking for the information, right? It's why I love AI versus Google search. I know my Google haters out there, don't go Google hating. I do believe that Google's going to figure it out and it's going to be pretty monstrous. But when I go to Perplexity and I type in a question, I get the answer.
Yep.
When I go to Google, I got to really search to find what I'm looking for. Yep. But if your video pops up and it's on YouTube as an example, and you're asking the exact question, like my level of intent goes up higher, my insight goes up higher. That's why I go back to answer the public. Yep. I think the great opportunity for you, as for everyone watching, is go to answer the public, mess around with the search query, like TikTok and Instagram and all these different places, and start creating content answering the questions that are on the minds of customers in your marketplace. And when you do, intermixed, I think, with all your personal stuff and your fun stuff and your memes and everything else, I think you'll see a nice lift over time. Otherwise, keep kicking ass, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but you got to keep pivoting, I think.
I love that. I love answering questions. Yeah. I feel like when someone asks a question, I typically, especially real estate related, I have the answers.
Right.
So it's not hard to do.
Yes.
You just got to find the right question.
Yeah.
That's going to be touching to the person who's trying to find you.
Well, instead of the right question, I would tell you it's don't be self-serving. Do you know what I mean? Like the only thing that matters is what's on their mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like I got over watching like how many view counts I had a long time ago because I'm like, hey, you know how hard it is to talk to 300 people?
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to talk to 1,000 people?
That's right.
How about like 10,000 people?
That's right.
It's hard.
Yep.
So if I create one piece of content and it gets 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million views, whatever, I think, well, this was meaningful to a larger group or a smaller group, but either way, it was meaningful.
Where else can you get in a room of 500 people on a daily basis?
Right.
Like,
right.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, I love it.
And there's a lot of people that get worked up because I'm only getting 200-300 views.
Right. That's like 2 small auditoriums.
For sure.
You know, and you did it twice in a day.
Yep.
Shut the front door. Congratulations.
Yep.
So what do you say to the person that is on the fence? And just as we get near wrapping this up, like I think I've hit every one of my questions. If you were to say to someone that's like, but Tim, I'm just so afraid to be on camera and my hair's not right. And my glasses are always kind of screwed up and I don't know what to do. What do you say to that person?
It doesn't matter. So
are you sure?
Yeah, because there's a lot of, like you just said.
But there's a lot of insecure people in the world and I'm not busting your chops.
You just said, hey, Jen. You talked about Hey Jen. So
yes.
Memes. My face wasn't on a meme.
Yes.
Like there's so many different things you can do.
Yeah.
You can just, and I've seen people do it. Like if someone doesn't like their voice, I don't like my voice. Not many people like to hear their own voice. Yeah. AI's got voices.
Yes.
Like 11 Labs or whatever that is.
Right.
Or TikTok or not TikTok. Well, TikTok has it. CapCut. Like they all have voices that you can type it. So take a video of something and type what you want to say. Like you don't have to be on camera to make a good video.
True.
And after doing 100 videos in 100 days, I got pretty darn comfortable with the camera.
Yeah.
And like I do videos, I wake up with bedhead, right? I go work out. I'll do videos with bedhead
and
right after my workout.
Perform really well.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And that's actually one of the tactics that we talked about in our mastermind was like, do something to keep people looking.
Yeah. Like
there was a gal that had a lazy eye in the video. And one of the people in there was like, I watch her whole videos because I'm trying to figure out where her eye's going. Right? So like,
I have a friend who has the same thing. So, I'm always like, I mean, which one am I looking at here? Like,
if the hair's messed up, but it doesn't matter. Like
it's better when they make the joke.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
fairness, right? I'm like, yes, I agree.
But like I've had videos where I mess up something or, you got something on your face and everybody talks about something on your face, but a lot of people see it.
For sure. I had a video where like a fly landed on me and I was like, like you're just, I'm like, don't edit it. Just
it doesn't
keep going.
matter. Right.
Back in the day when I had no editors, right. And all the videos were like me and a flip video camera by myself sitting in Chicago, hit the record button and then the wind picks up and people are like, I can't hear you in the comments. Please buy a microphone.
Yeah. Sometimes the over edited videos don't do as well.
I agree.
It's like, I look at the home tours today. They're so overly edited.
Yes.
And I'm just starting to do videos on, hey, if you have a property that you want people to see, do you like this video or this video? This video, you can't really see what's going on because it's dropping here and it's flashing here. And it's like, or do you just want a classic, nice video of your home?
Yeah.
Or both.
Yeah. I think it's, my note up here, plays at work. I think you have to just continually look at what's trending, what's hot, and is that relevant to your space? That's the key. Is it relevant? No one needs to see another real estate agent doing TikTok dances, just saying, right? Yep. But if it's relevant and it's trendworthy, then I say you jump on it. Otherwise, you're exactly right. Give the people what they want.
Yep.
People love looking at houses. If they didn't, they wouldn't be on Realtor and Redfin and Zillow all day long with hundreds of millions of views. Yep. So the more properties you show, I think the better. The way you show them stylistically, the better. I love, like, who was the young gal we had on our podcast who whispers into her phone every like there's so many different ways you can do it.
And you can do it always. So Ryan,
she's going to punch me for forgetting her name. Thank you, Caitlin. Shout out. Sorry, Caitlin.
Ryan, he edits my videos long form, right? Yeah. So like we have really good long form videos that get 50 views on YouTube.
Right.
But they're still important.
50 views on long form YouTube is great.
And it's
for
still
real estate
important.
Agents. 100%.
And then we do both videos. So like then you take the other video and you do another video. You don't have to just do one or the other.
Yeah.
Do them all.
Exactly.
That's what we're getting paid for.
Yep.
So that's kind of my theory on that.
All right. So the next 880 days I will be watching.
You get so far into one of these trends, or not trends, but these challenges, these streaks, like
100%.
Like, why would you quit?
I promise you, when I look back at 2007, meeting my buddy David, who was at the time working at Google, they had acquired YouTube, and he was like, you should stop doing those audio things because they're stupid. I was like, Thanks. Right. Thanks. I had done it for 3 years, started doing YouTube videos, and nobody was watching it in 2007 when I started. I would say nobody was watching it in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then around like 2013, I started getting phone calls of like, hi, we'd like to hire you to come speak. Could you do episode 14, 27, 56, and 53 in that order? And I'm like, I don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? Tom Ferry show. Like, okay, what content was that? It's happening so much faster now for real estate agents, for loan officers, for title execs, for entrepreneurs, for, people that will do the work over and over again and build that audience.
Yeah.
So for that, I applaud you, my friend.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
I got a question for you.
Fire away.
So like, I like to stay ahead of the trends, right? Yeah. And I thought I was early at 2012 on YouTube.
Sure.
You said 2007. So like, what's the next trend? What's something that that isn't taken off yet that we need to look at?
I think the stuff that's going to transform the world, whether we like it or not, is how we can be so on the pulse with exactly what matters to people using AI. It's going to be interesting to see how fast. Like I've already digitized myself and my voice. So I have this, it's not available for commercial use yet, but literally you can go on there and go, hey, Tom, I'm a real estate agent in Des Moines. I'm at 25 transactions. My goal is 100. Could you help me break down the math? And like literally the best of my IP is going to answer every question for you in detail. I think when that becomes available in the form of video, and because audio is easy, video, it's there, but it's not there yet. I think when that's available, I think the world of content creation is just going to explode. I think it literally is going to change the face of how we operate as humans. Like, I want to do all my research before I buy that duplex or that eightplex or buy that car or whatever it may be. And I'm going to go have a conversation with somebody and without ever talking to somebody.
So it sounds like if you're not going all in on AI, you're making a mistake.
I mean, I think it's the one thing that keeps just about every CEO I know up at night. And the great news is we're so early in it. But I would say the bridge is if you're putting out content that is so obviously written by AI, like everyone knows. Do you know what I mean? Like when you see all the emojis around on Instagram and stuff, I'm just like, okay, you didn't write that. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like we want humanity. I want the best possible information, but I also want humanity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
So I would say it's the use of AI, but then unleashing your personality, your style, your creativity, your hooks, your messaging, your consistency, being empowered by AI is the short form. And then the stuff that, my God, like Gary Vee and I, we talked about it like how many times a million years ago, one piece of content needs to be multiplied to many. And I think what most people are missing today is actually long form blogging content, posted on all those sites, Google Business Page, your site, LinkedIn, et cetera, and then doing the video version, and then it gets emailed. And then if it's really good, it's a QR code, direct mail piece back to your website to read that blog, to get more information. I think that content flywheel, I think that's always going to be the case. I'm an investor in an underwear company, and that's what they do. You know what I mean? Like, and they text me and say, here's the latest print. Then I look on social and there it is. And there's a cute, I think that's the game. So it doesn't matter what your personality is. You can have no personality. You can still find your tribe. Right. But I think today with the amount of people now creating content in real estate, right, it's got to be different. It's got to be super consistent, and it's got to be different and special to really stand out.
Yeah. I started taking my, I do like a monthly, a market update. And all I do with that, I do the video because I'm better at just doing video. I'm not a writer. I give it to my assistant and I say, take this video, transcribe it on 100%. AI and write a blog. And send that out to all our clients, put it on our website as a 100%. Blog. It's super easy. It takes me 5 minutes. I mean, all the research that I have to do, but I do that anyway. And 5 minutes on the camera, all of a sudden I got a blog.
I love it. So, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. So between now and the summit, T-minus 11 weeks, I want to challenge you to create one piece of content that in a year we'll look back and say that was good for 10 transactions.
Okay.
One piece of content, 10 transactions.
And I'll do that series that we were talking about.
Love it. Right on, man. Tim, super proud of you, buddy.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for making the trip.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Hey, make sure you follow this guy on Instagram on his journey, on his story. Shout out to you, Ryan, for helping out and making sure he does this super stuff consistently. And we will see you on the next show. Take care.